Election day is near, as we all know, so it's time to hunker down and take a look at the races and the candidates. We're going to be bringing you a series of interviews taking a look at some of the most important and contentious races that is, and you have to make a decision here. So this morning we are diving into the governor's race. Incumbent Governor J.B. Pritzker going up against downstate farmer and state Senator Darren Bailey. And joining us to break it all down is political analyst Thom Serafin and former chairman for the Illinois Republican Party and former federal and state prosecutor Pat Brady. So good to have you both in the studio today. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Okay, so we're getting close here, and let's start with you, Pat. Darren Bailey, he's gained notoriety for a series of controversial statements in calling Chicago a hellhole, saying that he wanted to move in here to see what it's like. He's been criticizing the crime, but the polls are not being very kind to him right now. What does he need to do now?
Well, let's take a step back. That's if you believe the polls. I just don't believe that the pollsters who have been wrong the last couple of cycles actually know how to poll anymore. People don't answer poll questions. I don't. When they call me, I don't answer them, or I tell them I'm a Democrat. And people don't like to answer questions. So I'm not sure if the pollsters have figured out actually who's going to vote, meaning who's motivated to vote.
Okay, let's say the polls are all wrong.
Yeah.
Is he not facing an uphill battle? What's he got to do?
Sure, yes, he is. And he probably needs to get back focusing on issues that people care about. That's the lesson that the Republicans have learned in the last 3 weeks, is focus on inflation and crime and the issues that voters in the rural, heavy, voter-rich areas of the suburbs care about. And I think he can. He does have an uphill climb, but I wouldn't write him off based on what the polls have said, because I just don't think they're right.
Okay, and so we're going to go over to you, Thom. Let's just go right to Pritzker right off the bat here. Like it or not, he did get us through the pandemic, okay? And some people have criticized him for that. Some people say he did an incredible job. You said, I think, in the primary that Bailey was the perfect candidate, that he wanted to run against him. Has this strategy worked? What does he need to do?
Well, it's worked so far, but none of the polls I've seen, and I happen to agree with Pat that the last 4 cycles of polling in the country have been inaccurate. It's just people just don't want to answer the telephone and say they might vote for a Republican or a Trump or a Democrat, depending on whether or not they think they're going to be canceled or something. I mean, who's calling and why are they calling? But with Bailey was a candidate that the Democrats wanted to run against because he was far to the right, it was a Trumpster, et cetera, et cetera. But they did the same thing with Kari Lake in Arizona. They wanted to run against Kari Lake, and right now she's leading in that race for governor. So it's not over yet in Illinois, despite the fact that the governor spent $38 million in the third quarter, and Bailey spends 1.5. But Bailey's route is such an uphill route. But because of this huge Republican wave around the country, it's going to impact Illinois. And, I don't know how deep it will, but if the governor's not pushing 50 yet, then there's a problem.
What's the key to focus on then? Let's go back to you, Pat. What is the key for Bailey to focus on if we've got this Republican wave going to get some momentum in this state, Democratic state?
I think he just needs to ride the national wave. There was a poll out over the weekend, national poll. 70% of the country doesn't like the direction it's going. That's the biggest number I've ever seen.
Are we talking economy? Are we talking crime?
Everything.
I want specifics.
It's a generic question they ask. Do you feel the country's going in the right direction? And any good political consultant will tell you, if you got 7 in 10 people think the country's going in the wrong direction, the party in power is in trouble. I think what Bailey needs to do is just ride that wave as much as he can into the burbs, talk inflation and crime, inflation and crime, inflation and crime. And I think that that's what people are focused on. The last 2 weeks, we're right in it right now, where people are starting to focus and pay attention. And if he does that, he's got a very limited path to do it, but he can. I think this right now is a 4 or 5 point race, it ain't a 10-point race.
Oh, so you think this is going to be one of the more interesting races then?
Yeah, and just piggybacking what you said nationally, the generic ballot where you ask voters whether or not they're going to take a Republican ballot or a Democratic ballot. You don't talk about the individual. People right now are 3 points to the Republican side.
Which is typically they're 5 points the other way.
Right, usually. Yeah. So that wave is coming. Will it sustain itself over 2 weeks? And, Mr. Pritzker's got the Democratic Party now. He's got the local party. He's paying monies everywhere to get the vote out for himself. Illinois just is not voting, though, in big numbers right now. So that would worry me if I was an incumbent. I have to get my vote out right now.
So you think it's going to be a low turnout then?
No, there's a national poll, voter interest all-time high, highest I've ever seen it. 78% of Republicans, 69% of Democrats. Everybody's tuned in.
The last one was 57% here in the off. You know, you get 73% on general. Last one was 57, you know, midterm. You know, maybe 55, 57 again here in Illinois.
Sorry we didn't disagree enough.
Oh, I'm sure if we bring you back, we'll find
We'll
other
find
things
something to
for
argue
you to
about.
disagree with, right? Thom Serafin, Pat Brady, always a pleasure to have you both in.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.